You are listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live.
Is this a quiz? I'm not very good at
quizzes.
quizzes.
No, it's not quizzes. We've got 15 quick-fire questions, 15 being the number of Villa's joint record of clean sheets set by Brad Feed or Emi Martinez in 2021.
Okay.
It's a tenuous link, but we got there in the end. Yeah. So, number one, promotion at Wembley or surviving relegation against West Ham?
That's a tough question. I'm going to go promotion at Wembley in terms of how I felt, and the whole day was just phenomenal. And like I said before, that the coach journey through the fans into the stadium was one of the best feelings I think I've.
Yeah, your video of that is brilliant.
Yeah, I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah. Next one, best goalkeeper in world football right now.
Apart from Emi Martinez, of course.
Apart from Emi, yeah.
I think it depends what you look at. I mean, in terms of Neuer and the way he's the way that he's developed goalkeeping the way like he is and the way he's played over the years, I think you have to say Neuer. He's transformed goalkeeping from the way he plays, and obviously we'll talk about a sweeper keeper. His position in relation to the ball has been phenomenal. So for him, the way he's transformed goalkeeping, I'd say Neuer.
Did you save that with the other day near post Japan?
Yeah. He's got things where I think he could improve. Don't get me wrong, 100%. But like I say,
doing it for a long time.
He's been excellent for a long time. Yeah.
Best mate at Villa?
Best mate, I've had quite a few really that I've been close to. I think
a few different eras.
Yeah, so many good people at football club. Like I spoke about with the staff, the support staff, the backroom team are fantastic. Some unbelievable people. Like from the Doc's an unbelievable character. I don't know if you ever spoke to the Doc, proper character. John Whitney, who's one of the physios there, is one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
What a guy! Like one of the best people you could ever know. Like unbelievable guy, and helped me develop as a coach, helped me develop as a person. He's been fantastic for me over the years. Danksy, who obviously got close to, especially over the last year. Who's going to have a great career. And then obviously you've got like your John Terry's, and you've got Dean himself, Richard O'Kelly, Craig Shakespeare, people like that. So many. They're all brilliant people. I've got on with so many good people at football club.
With people now like over-analysing that, the people you didn't mention.
Yeah,
he didn't get on with him.
Yeah, some great people. There's not a bad person in the football club. There's not anybody there who you'd say, idiot. There's just like full of good people.
Life and soul of the dressing room?
John McGinn.
Yeah.
John McGinn, 100%. What a guy. What a character. Proper character.
Biggest moaner?
So I feel like we should have answered these from like what we think as well to compare.
I wouldn't say grumpy. Dougie Louise is quiet, and you'd think he's grumpy, but he's actually not. He's just quiet, and that's his personality. Like you come across, and he's very like he's just got out of bed. He's just like quiet, but that's just his personality. He's actually just a quiet guy. So
strange for South American, isn't it?
Yeah. He's just I don't think he'd be quiet after a few drinks, but I think he's quiet, just quiet in the mornings. Yeah. No, he's probably the quietest one, where you think he's grumpy, but I don't think he actually is.
I was going to ask you this in the full podcast that we did, but I forgot. Whose idea was it to give Douglas Luiz the opportunity to shoot from corners? Is that something he comes forward and says, I want to do it?
That's obviously, it's hot. As a goalkeeper, the last thing you want is that ball coming on top of you at pace. Right, at that kind of pace, it's like, and that's obviously come from Austin. Like he's developed that, and with Trackman and things like that, with the detail he can go into, incredible detail. Like
no one else does it, do they?
No, well, nobody can whip that like Dougie does.
Yeah. So he can analyse it in training. He can hit it a certain way, and he goes, "You
Did you see the clip before he scored that one where he'd done it in training? Exactly the same thing. He's so consistent.
Biggest joke or like prank at Villa? Anyone like putting stuff in their lockers? Stuff like
if
that?
it's anything, it's going to be John McGinn, isn't it? He'd come up one Christmas dressed as a turkey. Yeah. But he's the main one. John McGinn. If anything's going to be like that, it's going to be John McGinn.
We've done, like we said before, we've done like a lot of stories with ex-players from the 80s and 90s and almost like early 2000s, like people like ripping up clothes and cutting stuff and like doing serious stuff. Yeah,
that's changed now. You don't get that anymore.
HR and stuff.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, and because of the foreign players won't understand it like the English do. You know, the difference in culture. Yeah, that'd be. Never
thought of that.
Yeah. Karaoke song now. What do you get up to?
I'm not really good at karaoke. don't know. Not really done. And that's another thing. It's like that's kind of gone out the game a little bit now. You know, like that togetherness of going out together and being together as a group has come away. Emmy's very good at that, organising things like that. He's organised a couple of barbecues, but don't really go out together anymore. They're just very much, and especially different cultures, different ways, different thinking, different thoughts.
I reckon you had a good go at Sweet Caroline in
something like that. I normally choose, because when you go to a new football club, you have to stand up and sing, don't you? And I'll just choose the easiest song where people can sing along with me.
St John T one pre-season got the guitars out.
Yeah, what song was that? Because I think that's the song I sang as well.
Oh, what was it? Yeah, I
remember. Benny King.
Yes,
that's the one I sang. Benny King.
Tell us something we don't know about you. So maybe it looks like a superstition or like something like that.
No, you wouldn't know about me.
Just done a long podcast with you, so I feel like we know everything now.
Not really that superstitious. I don't know. I think I'm quite open in the way I am and the way I come across. I don't know. Really. I think I'm quite open.
A quiet night in or a big night out?
Well, it was a big night out. Now it's very much a quiet night in. Yeah, I'm happy with, like I say, I'm moved to the country now, and I'm happy with, just a quieter nights. But I do now and again like a night out.
What's your beer of choice?
I've come away from beer now. I'm more of a wine person than I'm not really a big beer drinker, especially because when you finish playing football and you want to stay fit and you want to stay in some kind of shape, you can't be drinking too much beer. So I'm a bit more of a red wine in the winter.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Classic one here, and you might have to do a bit of thinking about this. We probably should have prepped him about these before. 3 guests at a dinner party, who would they be? You can have dead or alive and all that kind of stuff.
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, maybe should have been prepped for that.
Yeah. Do you want to come back to it?
I'll come back to that one. I'll have a think.
Favourite TV series?
I did like Peaky Blinders. Yeah. Got into that, but then there's a new SAS one that's out. Have you seen that? I haven't
seen it yet. I've got to do
is it Rogue Heroes or something like that? I'm big into stuff like that, all to do with world wars and things like that. I'm quite a bit of a geek when it comes to all that. So
there's something we do know exactly. Yeah. Best dressed goalkeeper and worst dressed goalkeeper.
Emmy's dress sense horrific, so it can't be Emmy.
I think we worked out with something like you worked with 13 goalkeepers at Villa or something like that.
I did.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I've got a list.
Including like youth players as well.
Matty Sarkic used to have some Larry gear. Yeah. But it's different, isn't it? Because you're working with different people from different countries, so got dress sense is different. Well. Yeah. Emmy's dress sense is horrific. It's so bad. Tom Heaton, probably the best dressed, I would have thought. Yeah, something like
that. Who's the biggest young talent at Villa at the moment?
JJ's got to be, if you're still classing him as a young talent, then he's got to be the one that is outstanding. Like he could be anything. He's going to be a Premier League player for a long, long time. If you're talking like a Jude Bellingham and people like that, he's going to be up there with, obviously Jude's even younger, but he's going to be right up there with top natural talent.
If you weren't a football coach, what would you have been?
That's a good question, because that's all I ever wanted to be. I played football from a very young age and then came through, and by the age of like 26, 27 I was struggling with my back. I had back injuries, so from then on I just wanted to be a coach. So I delved deep into what I needed to be the best I possibly could, the best coach I possibly could be, and took a lot from what I'd worked on in the past, or people I'd worked with in the past. And I worked with some really good coaches, Eric Steele, Paul Barron. I worked with some unbelievable goalkeepers growing up, and just took everything from them. Big part for me is like the psychological side, what I took from what I didn't have, what I wasn't given in terms of the psychological side, what I needed and didn't have, and that kind of detail in terms of you're with them. I've got your back no matter what happens. I'm there for you. And that kind of togetherness is one of the big things.
Psychology, then, maybe.
Psychology is a big part of goalkeeping coaching. Huge part.
Who was fined the most during the time at Villa?
Fined?
Yeah.
Probably Jack.
Jack, yeah. Put Jack. Jack's on there.
Yeah, can afford it. That's the thing, you can't find players these days, can you? Because they can just afford it. You just slap them on the table, like, never mind. I think it's more in terms of what, like, different things you could do to them, not monetary. It's got to be something that steps them out of the comfort zone a little bit rather than just being money.
Final one for me before we go back to the dinner party guests, which I hope you're thinking about.
I'm trying to.
Outside of football, what do you like doing in terms of hobbies and stuff like that?
I think I'm keen at cycling. I go on my bike quite a lot. I find that a de-stressor. I've been right big into cycling, but not only just because it de-stresses, but also strength. And I'm kicking so many footballs. Like the cycling part of it's huge, like massive for me. Get together with my mates and go on a few rides is big. You know, it's like you go on a few hours ride, 50, 60, 70k, and just like brilliant because it's a challenge as well. And I like to be challenged. So yeah, I think cycling for me is huge.
Foster's big on cycling, isn't it?
Yeah, massive. And I speak to Ben quite a bit on that. Try and get some free gear off him.
3 guests. Do you want to skip it? Or have you thought of any?
Brad Pitt, I think, would be one of them. Like a.
Didn't expect that.
No, just one out there kind of like experience in terms of his acting and his like how he is as a person. And you got to think about like a world leader probably one of the world leaders, somebody that's experienced that, you know, like a president or someone like that, and then probably like a Gordon Banks or something like that.
Who's your hero growing up?
Gordon was big, yeah. He was one of my heroes as a kid. So not really detailed, but
no, that's a good selection. What would you cook? Do you cook, by the way? Are you into
not
food
really.
and stuff?
No, my wife does all the cooking. Just not really a chance because, like I say, when I first started talking, it's like I'm leaving the house at 6:45 in the morning. I'm not getting in till 7:30 at night. And normally, what I was doing was bringing stuff back from the football club to shove in the microwave, or so you end up not like just having little bits. You've had a big dinner at work, and then you just have a little bit at night. So not really a chance. And it's like now it's starting to be a little bit like I've got a normal life. It's like now I can start thinking about doing a bit of cooking or going out on my bike, or so it's just totally different now. It's just starting to feel like a bit human again.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, lovely stuff, Neil. Thank you very much.
I need to think about that question. 3 I like 3.
We'll post this first as like a bit of a trailer. So for those who are watching the quickfire questions, there's a big in-depth podcast with Neil coming up as well. Must have been an hour and a half or something we did. So stay tuned for that over the weekend. Neil, thank you very much for your time. Thanks, Ash, and we'll see you again soon.
Nice one.
Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your thoughts and comments. We'll be back soon with another episode, but until then, up the Villa.